So I did a video the other day, uploaded it onto Patreon, and it was about our defence. It was about Nathan Gerd. It was certainly with a view to Magic Diouf coming in as well, but more pertinently towards the back three. Now, Todibo spent all of last season injured. He'd have a good pre-season behind him. And the fact that maybe the club were looking at Cresswell, and just how I thought that, bearing in mind that Graham Potter does like to set up his defence not to concede many goals, I did wonder, I did ponder, I thought maybe we'll be okay defensively next season. And someone messaged me and he said, did I detect a note of positivity in your video there, you know, looking forward to next season? And I said, whoa, hold on. It was very much compartmentalised, very much talking about the defence. I liked the stance that West Ham had with Nathan Gerd. I like that. Look, come on, we've not had a decent offer for you. You're going to have to come back. You're going to have to report for pre-season training, which is really what this video is about today. And the manager's going to play you. We see you as an integral part of the team, and unless an offer comes in which we deem to be acceptable and at your valuation, you're going to be playing left centre-back. I liked that. I thought that was really, really good. And as I argued a couple of days ago, I thought that was probably the type of thing we should be doing with Mohammed Kudus, which is a different story, and that's taken another twist again today. But that was about as far as it went in terms of positivity. And I've tried to be as positive as I can in this transfer window, but today seems quite symbolic because everybody's returned back for pre-season training. Now, I don't know, maybe you know, maybe by the time I upload this video you'll have seen some pictures, and maybe we hear that Kudus has returned for pre-season training. Of course, we know Edson Alvarez won't have done so because he was obviously scoring a goal and getting the man of the tournament, not just man of the match, man of the tournament award as Mexico won the Gold Cup. Absolutely brilliant. We'll discuss that in a second, but more or less, any players that have not been departed and gone back to their loan clubs, be it Carlos Soler, or obviously Evan Ferguson, not that he played much for West Ham, apart from the players that have been released, with Aaron Cresswell, Fabianski, Soufal. Actually, Mikel Antonio is still in the building, but everybody's got to come back for pre-season training. Now, what ordinarily would happen when players come back for pre-season training? Some new signings would arrive as well. This is really what I want to talk about today, because it's not a case should we start worrying now. It's not everyone's going to worry whether, irrespective of what I say in this video or not, you're either worried or you're not worried. And I doubt West Ham going back for pre-season training will overly impact that. But it is concerning. And I think this is it. Graham Potter himself had said, let me just read this now. Hopefully for pre-season we can bring in some new faces. It's good to try and gel the group together, working in an environment and creating a culture. These things are so important for us. He said that back at the end of the season. He basically said that at the start of May. And that was just him saying, I want new faces for pre-season. So irrespective of whether you think it's important or I think it's important, certainly the manager does. And we've not done it. And certainly well, I did a video the other day, and when I did the video and it was saying Diouf, looks like Diouf the deal is going to be done. Obviously, yesterday we heard that the Slavia Prague president, which we covered yesterday, had said he doesn't expect Diouf to be here. So I think, look, have we signed him yet? No, we haven't. Do I think we'll sign him? Yeah, I do. And I think we'll sign other players as well. But when I said it, somebody wrote as a comment, right, so what's all the fuss been about? So West Ham have signed 3 players. Now, it's not for me to dig that person out because anybody can have any opinion that they want. But that's very much a narrative that the club would like to have everybody believe. But of course, we haven't signed Diouf yet, even though I think we will. But so you can't class him as one. Who are the other 2? Well, it's Daniel Cummins and Jean-Claire Todibo. I remember reading some years ago, it was an interview, it was Martin Samuel, and he had interviewed Mark Noble, and he was talking about pre-season. He was talking about the uplift that players get in pre-season from new faces coming in. And I remember Samuel then And it was an absolute peak. You know, Martin Samuel was winning, you know, Sports Journalist of the Year. He's obviously a West Ham fan as well. And him arguing that loan players or players that have been on loan don't count as a new signing in terms of the uplift. So, for example, when Thomas Souček initially joined West Ham on loan, if you remember, in January, scored loads of goals, played that season, and then we made it permanent. But when Thomas Souček rocks up for pre-season training, everyone knows him. I mean, they're pleased to see him there, but it's not an uplift. There's not the excitement, the buzz. Remember this article talking about the buzz, the excitement on the training ground where people are looking around thinking, oh, what can he do? How good is he? And getting to training drills and getting to the free kick drills and all this sort of stuff. There's a buzz. There's an excitement to see what the new guy can do. There's a buzz, I guess, unless that new guy's going to take your position, there's a buzz about what they can bring to the squad and how they can improve you. But it's a big part of pre-season. That's my point. And I think which is part of what Graham Potter was talking about. We don't have it. We certainly don't have that with Jean-Claire Todibo, so we can't factor him in as a new signing. Daniel Cummins, look, I mean, it may or may not come good. I hope he does. Mark Noble certainly had a lot of really, really good things to say about him. But he's not a new signing. He is, but he's a signing for the academy. He's gone straight in to start training with the academy. Mark Noble said he's going to be with the academy. David Sullivan said he's going to be with the academy. This is not somebody for the first team. So we get to this point now where you've got not even a full squad rocking up for pre-season training. And that's got to be a little bit disheartening for people. I mean, so, you know, the other thing is there's characters are missing as well. I'm not saying we should have extended Danny Ings' contract. not at all. I don't think we should have signed him in the first place. But he was a character. He was part of the training ground. Aaron Cressman was very much a part of the training ground. You're going to miss these big characters. You're going to have some youngsters turning up, trying to impress. But again, you know, these are not new players. People will be pleased to see him. It's good to see George Murphy come back, but they know him. He's not new, and I hope he does well, and I hope Lewis Orford does well, and I hope Freddie Potts does well, and all the rest. I really do. But they're not new players. And I had a little look at the list of transfers ins and outs. Because it's been 5 weeks, so the transfer window opened 5 weeks ago. So this whole thing, we'll just chill out. It's very, very early in the transfer window. That becomes tired and that becomes old very quickly. You can say that. I think you can say that for the first little while. There's two things which make that sound tired. Firstly, once it's 5 weeks after. And the other thing is once pretty much everyone else has made a signing. Now, as far as I can see, unless I've got this wrong and I've looked this morning, Fulham have signed nobody. And the next two teams that haven't, basically, are West Ham and Everton. And the thing is, Everton, as is Charlie Alcaraz, I think that's his name, he was on loan there last season. So they've done a Jean-Claire Todibo. There's no uplift, you see what I mean? There's no uplift. We haven't signed a new player. Everton haven't signed a new player. And well, I guess, do we take any comfort? Well, just because Everton have not done anything, do we take any comfort from that? No, of course we don't, because why would we compare ourselves to the lowest common denominator? Why would we compare ourselves to somebody else who is also so far failing in the transfer window to try and gain comfort from him? No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't do that. And actually, when you look, well, I think Sunderland have spent over 50 million. I'm safe in saying that, well over 50 million. I think they've signed someone for 30. I think they've signed another £20 million player and possibly someone for 14 million. Might have that slightly wrong, but I'm not wrong by a lot, right? I think you'll find Crystal Palace have signed one free transfer, for instance. So, but in the main, there are a lot of clubs who have signed players, and we just don't seem to be getting involved. I think the thing, I'm mindful not to talk too much about Mohammed Kudus now. Gio said it yesterday in his video. It's tough. It's tough to watch what's going on there, and it changes so much. The latest one is for West Ham to get real. West Ham need to get real on their valuation. Tottenham made an offer. we've said no. Tottenham's offer is predicated and based on them winning trophies. I know they did last season, but Tottenham generally don't win many trophies, right? So I think I would totally understand West Ham saying, no, we don't want that as part of the add-ons. We really don't. As I say, I can't be bothered talking about the details of Mohammed Kudus at the moment. I think the thing is, it's been a tough one in this transfer window, just purely because we got told we were skint, we got told there was no money, and then how much I believed it, I didn't know, but I certainly allowed my spirits to be lifted by rumours and speculation that the board might be prepared to put their own money in, to the tune of 90 million. I guess that's not happened, and unless we suddenly find that we were going to side up the goalkeeper don't want to come, or Palmer don't want to sell him for what we've bid. Maybe if we were to get that deal over the line and we were to get Diouf deal over the line before we'd sold Kudus, then you might say, okay, well, perhaps they are putting their money in. But as things stand, I sort of don't believe it anymore. I've sort of, my enthusiasm for it has dropped, and it now looks to me, as I'm sure it does to a lot of people, that we are having to sell, particularly Mohammed Kudus, before we can buy. Which means Daniel Levy is in charge of our transfer business. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that. Basically, he can delay as much as he wants. And I guess in an effort to force us to sell at the price that Tottenham Hotspur want. There's your disadvantage. I think saying you're skint can have an advantage if you're looking to buy players. I think saying you're skint has a disadvantage when you're looking to sell them. And I think we're seeing that now with Kudus. Because they know. And, I guess actions speak louder than words. The actions are, and what you can see, is that West Ham are not able to buy at the moment. Tottenham will know this. So they can probably say, look, get real, accept it. There's pressure being applied by Kudus, I guess, which is him. It's not him saying it, but Fabrizio Romano suggests that he's said he's only interested in going to Tottenham. I'll only be repeating myself if I go into detail, but I think we should probably be a little bit more robust and stick our heels in on that one. It has to be said. But it does look to a degree as if Tottenham are controlling our transfer window. It just brings us on finally to Edson Alvarez. Edson Alvarez is a good player. It was only 12 months ago that he was linked with a, £50 million move to Manchester United? Something like that, wasn't it? Got injured, ironically playing for Mexico against Jamaica. That killed that transfer. Now, he's not a £50 million player anymore. But then he got injured. He got back into the team. As you remember, Lopetegui played him, was on the right side of a back three. I think he was chasing Jackson around, wasn't he, for Chelsea. Chelsea tore us apart at the London Stadium last season. He was asked to do a role which he's just not suited to doing. So he had to play in that terrible Lopetegui defence. We found himself in and out of the team. And whilst Graham Potter didn't do necessarily the Lopetegui defence, Potter did have a midfield which was so slow. Look, there's nothing wrong with Edson Alvarez. Edson Alvarez is a very, very good player. If you're going to put him in a midfield with James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Souček or Guido Rodriguez, this slow, static midfield, then the net result is that you're not going to do very well. Edson Alvarez is not going to do very well at all. And then that's entirely what we saw. That's exactly what happened. But he's a good player. He's a really good player. He nearly signed for Chelsea at one point. Borussia Dortmund wanted him. That's going to have inflated his value, being the player of the tournament. There's no doubt about that. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he gets sold before anyone else. That being said, now he can't return for pre-season training because obviously he needs a break. And this is the other thing. You've got to factor this in for pre-season training. There's going to be no Crescencio Somerville. Well, he might be in the gym or doing rehab work or whatever, but he's not going to be taking part in the drills. So it can be a very, very stripped out squad. Very stripped out squad indeed. Personally, with Edson Alvarez, look, we'll discuss it in more detail another time. I don't think the problem is him. I think it's who you put him with. I think if you're going to put Edson Alvarez in the team with some legs and some creativity next to him, then I think you've got a really good player. Ask him to do the job which he does for Mexico or which he was doing for Ajax. No problem at all. If you can start asking him to play as the right side of a back three, it's going to be no good. If you can start asking him to play as an attacking midfielder, which happened towards the end of last season as well, that's not his gig. That's not his game. There you go. Yeah, so I think it's underwhelming. Am I disappointed? Yeah, I am disappointed with what's going on with West Ham. I think am I worried? Well, as you know, if you're a regular watcher of the channel, I'm worried anyway. I'm worried about West Ham. I'm worried about West Ham next season. The bookies have us fifth favourite to go down. Is that the right way of saying it? So the 3 promoted clubs, then Wolves, then us. You can find it slightly different. Some bookies are different, so you might find Brentford are down, but below us. Some are just above us. Everyone else is expected to finish above us. So it's not just an overly concerned and overly worried West Ham fan worried about it. I think there's a lot of people worried about this stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Want to point you in direction? We got a sale. We got a really, really big sale on our West Ham shop. It's hammerschatstore.com. The link is in the description below. All printed T-shirts are in. We've got actually 2 sales on. All printed T-shirts are in one sale or the other. There's big discounts. We've got an Everything Must Go section as well. And honestly, Everything Must Go got some really, really good discounts there. Look, I always thought our stuff was really good. I thought we had a really, really good shop. It's closing down, I'm sorry to say. But yeah, links in the description below. Go and grab yourself a bargain. I don't know if you've got birthdays or anything like that coming up soon. But if you want to buy something for a fellow West Ham fan or want to buy something for yourself, go and have a look in the shop. Some really, really good discounts there. Some really, really good merch, as they say these days. Got some good merch there. Go and grab yourselves a bargain. As I say, check it out. hammerschatstore.com. Go and have a look. Fill up your basket. Obviously, if you are a patron, you're going to get discounts of that stuff anyway. Right. Let me know how you're feeling. Pre-season today. Feeling excited? I bet you're not.